Hey guys, David's Lawn Care. The other day I got a kind of surprising email from a fellow YouTuber. He's asking me if I could send him my mailing address information and stuff. I was like, he said he wanted to send me something. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Okay, why not? So I sent him the information, and he wouldn't tell me what it was. A little while later, I got a hankering idea of what it could be, and turns out my hunch was right. Mr. Ben Harrington with Acme Mowing sent me a SureCan. I just found out today, actually, that he was thinking about getting SureCan anyway. I found a comment on my video that I did of the comparison of the no spill against the Midwest can, and for whatever reason his comment was held for review because he used some bad language. He said the word hate, and apparently YouTube got his panties in a wad over that. So anyway, Ben sent me a completely free SureCan. He got some for himself to try out as well. So I'm going to be doing today just an overview of the features and my initial impressions of the SureCan. And most of you that watch my videos, you probably know Ben at Acme Mowing. If not, I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel and his Instagram in the description below. Be sure to check him out. He's a very awesome guy. And I really appreciate this, Ben. I'm looking forward to giving this a try. And I was planning on upgrading my cans. I got two 2.5 gallon cans anyway, and I was going to make them my mixed cans and retire my 1 gallon. But this will be even better. I'll just keep using my 2.5 gallons for straight gas and save a good 20 bucks on buying another 5 gallon can or something like that. So anyway, my initial impressions of the SureCan seems like a very rigid can. I know they have advertised it that you can drive over it with a vehicle, and really, I would believe that. I would say you probably could. The corners are very stout, and I've never put gas in it yet. I'm about to here in just a minute, what little gas I have. But I have been playing around with it. One thing that I do not like automatically about this can, it is a 2.2 gallon, not a 2.5 gallon. Now, I do believe I've seen some companies start making their mixed oil in a 2.2 gallon mix ratio for the SureCans. I could be wrong. I have to research that a little bit more. I do believe I have seen it though. But the vast majority of places in my area, they're not going to carry that kind of a mix. They're going to carry the typical 2.5 gallons. So what I'll probably end up doing is trying to judge exactly where 2.2 gallons is, or 2 gallon, or it's at judge where 2 gallons is, and just add 2 1 gallon mixes with this into this jug, because I don't want to run my equipment too lean. I can't afford to get another trimmer if I lock it up or something there. So I do not like the fact that they make a 2.2 gallon instead of a 2.5 gallon like most other cans on the market. So that is one thing, that's one downfall. But compared to the no spill and the Midwest can even, of course I'm not used a 2.5 gallon Midwest can, but this can, I could operate it with one hand if I had it sitting on the trailer, of course, and if it had gas in it. But very easy operation, just down the spout, and I can literally start pouring with one hand. That's all it takes. You got to pull this little flap down and then push down before the flow will start. This little cap right here, in order for it to come off, you do have to push down on it before you start turning. That's a pretty good little safety feature, but just a little bit aggravating. Not nothing big, nothing major at all. So now, And another thing that I altered on this cap, you might can see where I cut it. It did have a solid piece of plastic going across there, and it was nearly impossible to push down to get it to unlock. So I cut that little piece off, and it still locks. But now it's so much easier to push down. I don't know if that was just a casting problem, or if it's made that way or what, but I didn't much care for that. So let's put a little gas in it and test her out. So we now have just a little bit less than 1 whole gallon of fuel, mixed fuel in the SureCan. Now I'm going to, first time ever using it, pour a little bit of gas into my leaf blower, see how it works. As I said earlier, this can be completely used with only one hand. Push down on the little cap a little bit, turn it, set it to the side, open the spout just a little bit, pick it up, get it in there. You can pour with this can with only one hand. It is just a little bit cumbersome, but you'd never be able to do that easily with one hand with a no spill jug. It didn't seem like it ended the flow as quickly as I would have thought it would. It did take just a couple seconds before the flow completely stopped. Of course, it did have to travel out of the tube, but I was expecting a little bit sooner of a stop than that. But overall, I'm liking this can so far. I'm going to try something now that I've got a little bit more control over. Instead of a small tank from my leaf blower, I'll try pouring this back into my 1 gallon can to test the stop of the flow and whatnot. That's interesting. It did take a few seconds before it completely stopped. So I see that you would have to really be aware of just how much fuel you're putting into your machine. If you have a small tank, you would have to stop a good ½ inch or so below the full line or below the top of the tank in order for the little bit that keeps running out to completely get into the tank and not overfill the tank. Well, that's really not a big deal, but I do think that my Midwest can, the stop is on the very, very end of the nozzle on it, and it instantly stops. You don't have to let the fuel travel through this nozzle after you stop pouring with it. So that is one thing that I like over the SureCan. I like for the Midwest can over the SureCan. So far, as I said, this is just initial thoughts. But for pourability, it's definitely a whole lot easier than a no spill. Very comfortable. I can stand up. Okay. Now, as you can see, this can is dripping. So I'm sure it's just gas that's trapped in these bubbles here, these little knobs, whatever you want to call it. But is not exactly what I expected. I expected absolutely nothing to come out. But I'm sure that's all it's coming from right there. But anyway, pour it again, and we'll do it one-handed. I don't have to hold the jug two hands. I can hold it at a comfortable height and everything. Let go, it does pour out some. Shake around a little bit, get the fuel out of the hose, out of the nozzle. Still just a little itty bitty bit of leakage, but overall, I can't say just yet that I am impressed with this, but I do like it so far. The design is neat, and I think that it is a very sturdy can. So anyway, I'm going to pour my gas back into this because this is from now on my go-to jug for this period of testing anyway. So that is it for my initial thoughts of the 2.2 gallon SureCan. As of right now, I would give it about an 8 out of 10. I would most likely choose it over a no spill because it's just more convenient to use. The no spill, in my experience, I do not own one, but I have used them. From my experience, they do leak just a little bit, and they don't instantly stop the flow, and neither does the SureCan, as far as I can tell. But I do believe that the only reason why is because, you know, the stopping mechanism is up in here in the tank, and it's got all this spout to travel, plus these on this nozzle, gas can get trapped in there, so there's going to be a little bit of leakage, but I don't think it's the actual stop mechanism that's leaking. I think it's just the excess fuel that gets in this line. Which, as I've said, the Midwest can, as you can see, the stop mechanism is in the very end. As soon as fuel stops, as soon as this goes back up here, it instantly stops. There may be just a little bit of residue of fuel on the end of it, but as soon as that stops, the flow stops. So far, for overall design, between the Midwest can, SureCan, and the no spill, I'm liking the Midwest can over anything, and it is a cheaper design. And it is a cheaper can. About the only thing that could really go wrong with these is maybe this plastic could get weathered over time, something like that. But the main thing you'd have to worry about would be gaskets. And you can buy these whole nozzles by themselves from the Midwest can, and or whoever manufactures them. So nozzles and parts are pretty readily available. So overall, I would have to go with a Midwest can over anything. But as I've said, this is just an initial review, initial impressions over the SureCan. Once I get more experience with it, I will let you all know. It is just a 2.2 gallon. It will be my mixed gas jug. It will not be my straight gas jug. So we shall see. In the near future, I'll make another video, probably a few months from now, in-depth review of that. I will use and abuse it. I will let it slide around, throw it around. Maybe not throw it around, but I won't treat it very nicely. Put it as it is. I do believe it'll hold up. I do believe the pouring mechanism is pretty good, but it's just another thing that somebody's tried. It's not instant like the Midwest can. Or there's probably other cans out there that are more instant. As soon as the pouring mechanism is closed, it instantly stops. The SureCan and the no spill, they do not instantly stop, in my experience. So anyway, guys, if you would like to see the review the full in-depth review after I've used the SureCan after a while, be sure to leave a like and a comment, or whatever you want to do. Let me know if you'd like to see that. It'll be a few months from now, but I will definitely have a video, in-depth review of this can. This is just the initial impressions. So until then, or until the next video, this is David Vlog here, and I'll see you all next.